Good afternoon, everyone. Today is Thursday. We did Thursday this week, the 23rd day of October 2025. Next week is going to be normal on a Wednesday, but the week after that is again going to be on a Thursday because I have a funeral to go to in Connecticut. So I won't be back until Wednesday the 5th. So we'll do in November, November 6th. Next week will be normal on Wednesday the 29th, and the week after that will be on Thursday the 6th. Okay. Just let you know a little bit ahead of time. Hal just asked us a question about whether I would use a TV swing and the TV trades on the chart at the same time. I think he means you mean the swing trade and the scalp trade. Is that what you mean, Hal? And my answer is no. You probably shouldn't because you're gonna have conflicting signals. All right, the swing trade is already on, but if I put the scalp tool on with it, and then I turn on the scalp tool, you will see there are going to be conflicting signals where you had a short trade right here and then you had a long trade right there. Okay, you had a long trade here, then a short trade there, you had a short trade there, and a short trade there, a short trade here, and then a long trade here. However, the one thing that I would say, if you do have both of them on and they both indicate a long trade, well, then you probably want to get on that. Or they both indicate a short trade. You'll see things here like this, Hal. Let me just spread it out so you can see a little bit better. With the swing trade, the way that the swing trades work, let me shut off the scalp tool for a second for you. The way that the swing trades work, you get notified ahead of time, alright? And this is one of the things that Peter, who was just on the trial, said he was having an issue with. I don't think he understood this part of it. You get notified ahead of time before every swing trade. You get this gray arrow that says if you get an. It's basically saying, in this case, if it's pointing up, it's saying if you get an up close on the next bar, it's going to be a trade. If it's pointing down, it's basically saying if you get a down close on the next bar, it's going to be a trade. If you get multiple gray arrows in a row like that, that's because you never got the down close. All right, it's because you never got the down close. This is saying if you get a down close on the next bar, no down close, no down close. There it is, down close, trade. Okay. However, that's the way the swing trade tool works, and it's really simple. If you're new to all this stuff, the swing trade tool is probably what you should start out with because it's the simplest thing we have. Okay, it is absolutely the simplest thing we have. You don't have to turn anything on, right? I'll just take it off like that. It's off the chart right now, and I just go to indicators and I go to swing trade and click on it. Don't have to change a thing. Don't even have to look at the properties. Okay, that is the simplest thing we have, and look at how it's killing it right here with the SPY. Now, the other night, a fella had said to me the other night, it was in here, right here. I think when this was actually forming, it was at night. I think, yeah, it was at night when this was forming right here, and and he had said to me that he was trying to trade. The SPY, but he wasn't having much success. And I asked him if he had done the swing trade tool yet, and I don't think he had used the swing trade tool yet. And I said, try it on a 200 range. Don't go to like a 30-minute or a 5-minute or a 15-minute. Try it on a range bar. Because with a range bar, when you get this gray arrow, it's telling you that if you get a down close on the next bar, it's going to be a trade. It's more than likely is going to be a trade. Like this one right here. If you get a down close on this bar, you're going to have a black arrow. More than likely. Alright? It does work on all time frames now. More than likely you're going to have a trade there. Okay? If you're not using the swing trade thing, or you put the swing trade on something else, some other time frame, like we'll put it on a 5-minute, it's not necessarily saying the same thing. It's not saying, if the next bar is an up close, you're going to have a trade. If the next bar is a down close, you're going to have a trade. It's most of the time that's how it's going to work out. But but there are things that you don't know about it. Right? You don't know where that bar is going to close. You have no idea where that bar is going to close. Like with a range bar, you know exactly where the bar is going to close ahead of time, so you can be proactive with it. With a time-based bar like this, or say a volume bar or a tick bar, I think everything works better with range bars. I also do. I think it works better with range bars. Yes, I think everything works better with range bars. Do I have any suggestions for using the system and trying to use a smaller stop, like 20 points on the NQ? 20 points on the NQ or 20 ticks on the NQ? Points is 80 ticks. ticks. Okay, that's what I thought. Yeah, you can absolutely do whatever you want there, but I use, in the morning session when I'm doing that stuff, I use a 19 range and I have a 25 tick stop in the morning session. Most of the time it works out pretty well for me. If you look at these results, most of the time it works out pretty well. I had one day, that was Monday I think, this week, that I had a rough day with it, but most of the time it works out pretty well for me. Okay, and I didn't capture all the trades that were available on any of those days. Okay. I use a 25, I'm in a 19 range with a 25 stop. And the reason I use a 19 range on that, let me just show you when I'm doing it. See how it works on all time frames. But this is the SPY. It's not, it's not something you could trade like this. This is the SPY. And a 19 range on the SPY is 19 cents. You don't really want to do that. But if we change this to the NQ, that's what you were asking about. You would bump the way that I do it. If you go here, go to Target View Trades, and look, I put this on the home page at Target View Trades. I put this risk management stuff right here on the home page of Target View Trades. TargetViewTrades.com. 19 range bars have a 25 tick stop that trails to break even after 10 ticks in profit with a 45 tick target. You see, it's right there. The risk management stuff. I know it's ugly, and I probably need to redo that whole website, but it's right here. The risk management stuff. I put it here because it's also over here. You got to go under more and go to risk management. But this is important that you guys have access to this, and I want to make it really easy for you to get to. And since the stuff down here is really outdated, I thought I'd put more current things on the web page for you. Things that really matter. Okay, back here. So here we're on a 19 range, right? And using just the swing trade stuff, you would go long right here, and after you get 10 ticks in profit, you would take the trade. When you get a gray arrow, you know an up close on the next bar is going to be a trigger. Anytime you get a gray arrow, if it's pointing down, you know the down close on the next bar is going to be a trigger. Up close on the next bar is going to be a trigger. Down close on the next bar is going to be a trigger. Up close, down close, down close, down close. That one didn't actually give you one. It's almost every bar, but not exactly every bar. That one didn't give you a black arrow on that one. If you did get it, it still would have worked out great, but it didn't give it to you. But that's, the swing trade tool. If you're going to just start out with us, if you were just brand new and you wanted to do one thing that's really easy, you can do this. And again, this has alert set on it. You can turn the alerts on this. Go to alert, then go in here and I'm sorry, go in price and use swing trade and any alert function call and hit message, and in here you would say this is a 19 range, 19R NQ swing trade. And in notifications, you say what you want in here for your notifications. This is in the app. Now, I want to cover something with the app here in a minute, but this is in the app, and this is a toast notification, and this is a sound if you want to play it on your headset. You can have it send you an email too if you want to, but that's kind of slow. Now, the alert that gets sent out with this gives you information. It sends out an alert on the gray arrow and on the black arrow. All right, and I'll show you what it looks like in a second. I'm going to hit create on this. We'll probably get some alerts created when I do this, all right, because I have it notify me in the app, notify me in the toast, so it's going to show up over here in the alert section once I create this thing. All right, now one thing you have to have when you create the alert, you choose how you want to be notified. Swing trade, you got to have the swing trade active and on the chart. You hit create. Now this is the way it's going to remember it, like this, right? You can't go in there after the fact. You can't go in here after the fact. And the alert that we just created, this one right here, the one that we just created, if you go in there after the fact and you change the notifications around, I don't know that it's going to remember that. I think it does it. It remembers everything you do when you create it. In here, I think you can just delete it or pause it, turn it back on. But now that we've done it, we've turned it on, we can look over here. The last alert we had here was on the TVT swing trade for 100 range micro ES. I'm pretty sure we're probably going to get some sort of a signal here while we're in this meeting, so I'll show you what it looks like when it happens. But you can see the swing trade alerts, they look like this. All right, can you read that right there in the black? If I hover over it, you won't see it. Hang on, let me just do this. Let me do this. Let me turn the timer on this. Oops, I didn't mean to do that. the timer on. Nope. Not that. Not that. It did it again. Yeah, let me shut it off and turn it back on. I know there's a way to do this so it has a timer on it. Oh, there it is. Okay. I want to have a 3-second delay. Okay. So hang on. There. Now. Okay, this is what I wanted to show you. Inside the alert itself, it says, now this is for any alert, that alert that I just created. Inside the alert itself, it says, a down close of the next bar. TVT swing trade sell likely on the down close of the next bar. That happened on the gray arrow. Right? On a gray arrow pointing down, it says likely on a down close of the next bar. That's not the actual alert that tells you to take a trade. That's the alert that says the next bar is probably where you're going to get the trade. Okay? And that's how you set it up. That's how you use the alerts, and that's how you set it up. Now, you can have that alert go to your phone. If you have it on a larger time frame, like 100 range, you know, it might take a few minutes. This is this alert right here. That's what that came from. That gray arrow right there is what that came from. All right, that just triggered right here. 11:56, 11:56:06. Yeah, I guess it was this one right here. This bar right here. That was the alert. It wasn't just now, but when it did trigger at 11:56, that was the alert that it sent out. Now, when the NQ 19 range does trigger an alert, it's going to get put right here in the log. You don't have to be looking at the chart. You don't even have to have your charts turned on. It's still going to trigger those alerts. It saves all that stuff, and it's still going to trigger those alerts. Okay. So if the NQ were to trigger another alert right now in a 19 range, it would be you'd get it in here. You'll see it pop up over here at the same time. Okay. And you can see this is the ES on 100 range. This is a micro ES on 100 range. And you know, it was really hitting the alerts pretty well in here on micro ES. You only get 1 or 2 of those a day, as you can see. But yeah, in the TM Joe group. Which one are you, Tim or Joe? Anyway. You can put it on any time frame you want. I mean, it kind of goes to what Hal was asking too. You know, on the MES, like I run the ES in the morning session on a 7 range, and here it is on a 7 range. Okay, the 7 range you use a 10 tick stop. So right here you'd have a nice win. There you'd have a win. There you'd have a stop out. Here you'd have a break even. Here you'd have a win. Here you'd have a stop out. Here you'd have a stop out. Well, these right here that go somewhere, like that one right there, probably would have bumped it to break even. That would have been a win. That would have been a break even. This would have been a win. This would be bordering on break even right now. But you can use it on anything you want. But this is by far the easiest one that we have because you don't need to do anything. You know, I just showed you how to set the alert. If you wanted to use the alert, you don't have to use the alert. But I just showed you how to set the alert on that if you wanted to do that. And by far, this is the easiest thing that we have. Now, if we take that off and we put this guy on, the scalp tool, this is what Hal was asking about earlier. Should you have them both on at the same time? I said you're going to get conflicting signals if you do. Now, this is also a very simple thing. The thing about this one is you don't get notified ahead of time that it's going to happen because you don't know ahead of time that it's going to happen. And that was the problem that one of the guys that was on the trial recently said. You know, he gets conflicting signals. They might be 2 in the same direction before one goes in the opposite direction, and he doesn't know when they're going to happen. And I haven't figured out how to let you know yet ahead of time that this is going to happen. But they're scalp trades. You know, they're in there, they're fast trades. You get in there, you take the trade, and you get out. It should happen on the very next bar. Whenever you get one of these things, it should happen on the very next bar. If it doesn't happen on the very next bar, you can probably start looking for an exit. Alright? Should happen on the very next bar. I think that one didn't. Okay. Alright. Any questions about any of that stuff? If you were to put the NQ on this right now, the NQ on this right now, this is the NQ on a 7 range. It's probably going to start triggering stuff pretty quickly in here. It hasn't triggered anything, well, actually for a little while now. There it is. There's one right there. Now, I'm not going to trade the NQ on a 7 range, but if you did take it, you'd have gone long right there, right? And if I was doing it on a 7 range, I'd be out of break even. I would have moved my stop to break even already on that. I'm not going to trade the NQ on a 7 range. That's just craziness. Is there a rule about what range number to use and when? Okay, that's fair. That's a fair question. I base it upon volatility. All right, and when I say that, you know, with the NQ, for instance, you know, the NQ it trades really thin, so it can go from where it just was way down here where it gave that long trade to all the way up here right now. You know, you had just a great indication for a trade right there. All right, on a 7 range, and it went from 54.50 so far all the way up to 62.25. So it went almost 40 ticks already. All right, just about there, just about 40 ticks. It's about 36 ticks right now, and that's because the NQ works so fast. You know, it's hard to put a trade on and manage your risk because this moves so quickly. That's why I like a larger time frame for the NQ. But for the ES, you know, when you're playing with the ES, let NQ get over there anyway. When you're dealing with the ES, you know, the ES is a lot. The market is a lot more liquid, meaning there's a lot more it's got to go through to get from one price to the next. And that's good information for you to have. Everything you can see in here is good information for you to have, and you can use that once you get into a trade as a target. Like this right now, it wants to go through this number, up to that number, then up to that number, then up to that number, and that number. That's where price wants to go. You got to wait for a trade setup to get it. But Hal, to answer your question, when I see a spread in the NQ, I just don't trade it. You know, there were some days earlier this week the NQ was spread, and I just stopped trading it. You know, that's why you saw that day where I was down on the NQ. You know, I'm not usually down on the NQ, and you saw on this day right here, Monday, I was down on the NQ. It's because I got in there and I started trading it a little bit, and it wasn't working for me. There was too much of a spread. There was like a 5-tick spread in there, so I decided not to trade it at all. After I was down a little bit, I didn't even try to get back. I ended up trading a whole bunch of gold, as you can see. We had 36 trades on Monday, and let me see, on Monday, on the NQ, we had 9 trades on the NQ on Monday. So the ES, we hardly traded the ES on Monday. There was, with the ES, on Monday I had 14 ticks. Yeah, that's right. We had 3 trades on the ES on Monday. But that's what I look at. Hell, is there a lot of volatility? If there's a lot of volatility, I need a larger time frame. If there's a spread in the market, then I just don't trade it. You know, if there's like a 2 or 3 tick spread in the market, I don't trade it because we're scalping. And if you're going to give up 2 or 3 ticks, you know, if my stop was 100 ticks, then those 3 ticks aren't that significant. But if my stop is 10 ticks, then those 3 ticks are 30% of my stop. So I'm not going to deal with that. Okay, just trade something else. Alright, in the log, we still haven't had an NQ. Still haven't had an NQ trigger yet. On the 19 range, I mean. It's 19 range swing trade. So we put this back on. There. Well, one did trigger right here. That was before we started. Or no, it just actually should happen just here. Did it show it? Did not show it. Did I not create that right? 19 range swing trade active. I must have done something off on that. Open-ended alert. Well, it seems like I should have triggered one in here, but alright, the other thing that I wanted to go to, Hal, that you had asked about, if you have them both on at the same time, and let's say you get an indication. Okay. Let's say you get an indication to go short on. If you get a green arrow or a red arrow right before the black arrow, that means the green arrow or the red arrow overwrote the gray arrow. Like this one right here. it overwrote the gray arrow. So you had a gray arrow, then you had a red arrow, suggesting the red arrow actually says to sell the open of the next bar. The black arrow says to sell the close of the next bar. So if you get a red arrow on top of a gray arrow, then that's a pretty significant opportunity, I would say, most of the time. Okay, or if you get a green arrow on top of a gray arrow. But the easiest thing to do, Hal, is just trade one or the other. And the easiest one to trade is going to be the swing trade tool, like that. Right, like this right here is saying, if this bar closes down, there's going to be a short on the NQ. That's what that's saying right now. So we'll wait and see if it does. I don't know why that did not trigger over here. This should have triggered. This should have triggered. That should have triggered. That should have triggered. So that's a short right there on the NQ. Okay, now the stop needs to be up above right here. So we're on a 19 range, so the stop needs to be 25 ticks. Okay, now on the swing trade, it doesn't always take off as soon as it happens. With the scalp, it should happen as soon as you get the trigger, because the trigger's at the top of the bar, not at the bottom. As soon as you get the trigger with the scalp, you want to be in that trade. But with the swing trade, a lot of times it's going to pull back like this is right here. It's pulling back a little bit. And so you can wait for the pullback to enter it, like this, right here. Okay. So now I'm in it, my stop's 25 ticks away, and I have a 45 tick target down here. And that's what we're looking for. Okay, so my stop's going to be up above the bar that got me into the trade. And that's usually going to be plenty to keep you in the trade. Okay. So now we'll see how it works out. I'll slide it over here to the side. I'll keep you updated as far as it's working out or not. And let me just check this. I just got 2 messages here. Alright, we're still in the trade right now. Alright, the stop is up at 77. So if it hits 77, we'll be out of the trade. And it hasn't gone 10 ticks into profit, so I haven't got to the point where I push it to break even yet either. Here it is, right here. Okay. Just do this always on top, and I'll stick it over here on the side. Alright. When you can, please show the settings for TV trades with the range trigger on the same chart. The settings for TV trades with the range trigger on the same chart. You mean these TV trades right here? With the range trigger you asked about, right? With the range trigger. Okay, well let me get rid of that and put the range trigger on, because the range trigger has its own background. Where is it? Here it is. Oh, sorry. You were talking about the range trigger. This range trigger. Okay. Let me put this. Yeah, okay. I'll show that to you. Here's the settings for the range trigger. If I turn it on, these are the settings for the range trigger. We're just about to stop out. We did just stop out on the NQ. Okay, so let me put that in here. So far, today is 10:23. And 1 NQ minus 25. Okay. With 10 contracts, that's what it is right there. But one trade. Right, this is what the month is so far. We have today and next week to add to this month still. And it's already our best month since we've done these Wednesdays. Okay, back in here. Now, inside the range trigger, what did you want to see inside the range trigger? Do you enjoy the basic TV trades? No, it really doesn't have anything to do with it. Nope. You can put the swing on all by itself. You don't need any of this stuff down here, because it really doesn't have anything to do with it. Okay, let me put the red arrow on this before I forget that I did this. We did just stop out right there. Okay, style settings, go in here. Wait, I gotta do the update on it. It needs an update. What is... See, if you look at this, you can see check what's new. And let me see what I changed since the last time. Down here at the bottom is whatever it is. I changed it vault, TVT high, and TVT low lines to white. Okay, so I haven't updated. Well, it's been a while since I updated this then. Let me just do the update on this. Oops, not that. Just click on the purple arrow and update to latest version. Okay. So go here and style. And what did you want to see in here under settings? All right, I don't have the password in right now. If I put that in, I think that's the right password. If I put that in, then I think, let me just put this on and make sure. Yeah, okay, that is the right password. Okay. Under settings, what did you want to see in here, you guys? So black arrow and swing is taken at the close of the next bar. When the black arrow appears is when you want to take the trade. Alright, you have the gray arrow that says if you get a down close on the next bar, it's going to be a trade. The black arrow is likely to happen. Take the trade. Okay, that's what the gray arrow is saying. If you get a down close on the next bar, a gray down arrow is saying if you get a down close on the next bar, get ready to go short. Okay, good. If you get a gray up arrow, it's saying if the next bar closes up, get ready to go long, because that's going to be a black arrow, more than likely. That's what it's saying. Okay, yeah? Alright. Daryl M. You logged off. Okay, well, I'll get back to you. Anyway, on the 19 range, we're not really getting a whole bunch right here. So if I shut that off and I go here and I put the scalp tool on, see, the scalp tool is giving us a little more opportunity than the 19 range is. I mean, the swing trade is. Now, since the meeting started here at 14:35, there's been a couple of decent trades. There's one right now, and the scalp tool, it just bumped me to break even plus a tick. So I'm going to lock in 8 ticks on this right now. Okay, and it's got a 45 tick target on it, so we'll see where it goes from here. Right, so we're out with 8 on that. Now that was just a scalp tool trade right here. Okay, so that was blue. And let's get our Wednesday thing up here, and we'll go enter that in right away. How about this at minus 17? And 2 trades. 2 trades. Okay, just want to keep track of this as we go. Now what this should do is get down here to the prior swing low, at least. Get down to the prior swing low. That's what I'd anticipate out of that. Okay. Now the trigger, the TVT trigger, is not the same as the scalp tool. You may have noticed that. Alright, the idea behind the scalp tool is to let you know when it goes down like this, when it fails like that at the top. It gives you a fail at the top like that, and like that. Usually, it's going to give you a signal. It's going to give you a trade. Alright, usually. Not every time, but usually. It depends on the angle. Now, this should definitely have triggered a trade. It should have triggered an alert. I don't know why it didn't. Let me go back in here and delete this one, and then we'll do a new one. Delete. And we'll go from here. Add alert on swing trade. Message is going to be any alert. Notifications. Oh, looks good. Hit create. Alright. Now let me take the swing trade back off. Let me leave it turned on. I'll just take the arrows off. Alright. More trades. You guys want to see any other stuff? This TV trades, this that I'm working with right now, is available to all of you if you want to use it. I'll put the link out here. Okay, Daryl, I don't know if you came back in. I'll put the link in both of these chat boxes. I share this with you guys. So if you have access to the indicators and you click on that link right now, it's going to create a read-only copy. You have to hit the word copy in the upper right-hand corner and then save it. Okay. Now, for what it's worth, for anybody that's just coming in right now, or just watching right now, or this might be your first one of these meetings with me, the majority of the trades come in the last 15 minutes usually. All right, so the first hour or so is more just talking about what we have and what's going on. You know, I haven't gone through like all the indicators in a long time with you guys because the new stuff is just, you know, really good and easy. It's only got the scalp tool on right now. I shut off the actual arrows on the swing trade. Those are the swing trades, the black and gray ones. Mark. Okay, I just shut them off so they weren't all over the place. I'll just put on the gray ones. Okay, so if you just have the gray ones on, you can pretty much get an idea when the next swing trade trigger is going to happen. Okay, and you know, if we were to jump this to like 100 range, it hasn't given that many, but it had one swing trade here. I think that was earlier today, right? Yeah, that was earlier today. It had one swing trade right there earlier today. It had a swing trade here earlier today. It had one right there earlier, one right there earlier, and one right there. So all of those were good trades. Every one of those, well, this one, and that was still a good trade. It would have been from there to there. That was enough to get you stopped to break even. It's 100 range. Every one of those trades was a good trade. And I know I don't have the black arrow turned on. Do I? Yeah, the actual is the black arrow. Okay, let's jump back down here for a second and minimize this and see if we got anything else showing up on any of these other markets. Like over here on gold, we have the midpoint turned on gold, and it looks like we also have the scalp tool turned on gold. And the swing trade on there too. That's a 9 range on gold. We have a 9 range on the Russell. We have a 7 range on the ES and a 2 7 ranges on the ES. We have a 27 range on the ES. Alright. So I guess this one is that. Did I bring that back down to 19? I did. Okay. Are my tools used for both scalp and swing trades? The risk management. Yeah, well, the risk management only goes up to 100 ticks. Mark, if you look over here, I only go up to 100 ticks with the risk management. But if I were doing 100, you know, the higher the bar size with range bars, the higher the bar size, the lower the percentage of the stop needs to be. For instance, right here on a 4-tick range, we have an 8-tick stop. That 8-tick stop is twice the size of the bar. On a 7-tick, we have a 10-tick stop. That's like 150% of the bar size. On a 9, we have a 15-tick stop. That's like 150, 140%. On an 11, we have a 15-tick stop. That's about a little over 50%. On a 15, we have a 20-tick stop. That's 25% more. Right? On a 19, we have a 25-tick stop. That's about the same, 25% more. What I mean is 25% more than the than the bar size. Okay, so on 100, it's only 10% more. 110 tick stop. It's like 150. I'd probably have like 100, maybe 160, 170 tick stop. Or a 200 range, I'd have a 220 tick stop. Something like that. Okay, Mark? Can I show how to create an alert for the swing trade? Yes, you missed that earlier. Yeah, I created 2 of them, actually, but let's go see if any of them triggered yet. It should have triggered. The 100 range micro is the only one that triggered so far. But to create an alert for the swing trade, hang on. What market is that? That's the ES. To create an alert for the swing trade, ES 7 range. What is this ES on? I'll go back and look at that in a second. Let's jump here for a sec. For the swing trade, you just go to swing trade like this. Click on the 3 dots. Do add alert on TVT swing trade. Alright. Leave it on any alert. Come in here, type in whatever message you want to be sent. And go to notifications and let it know how to send it. notify in the app, notify on your computer, play sound on your headset, however you want to do it. Hit create. Once you do that, it's going to show up over here under the alerts tab. Okay, it'll show up over here under the alerts tab, any alert function call. Now this name right here is what you gave it under here. That's what you gave it. So if I change this, see how I just changed it right there? So if I put this in here, Q19R, then it changes it right there. You see? Alright, I took an ES trade a second ago based on this right here. Right, on the scalp right there. So I'm going to lock in my stop. I think my stop went to break even already, didn't it? I think it's at break even now. I'm going to lock in one tick on that. The high of the day is right up here. It's trying to get to this number up here at 86. Now let me explain that. You see how this number is bigger than all the other numbers below it? Price is trying to get to that number. That's what price is attracted to that number. This string of numbers right here, all in the hundreds and all that, right before the high of the day. Price is attracted to that. It's going to try to get up there right now. As a matter of fact, I have one tick locked in on this, but it's going to try to get up there right now. And the high of the day is right here at 85.75, so it's trying to get up here to the prior swing high. And it will probably do that right now. Okay, there it goes. There's 2. We're going to lock in 4 on this. Okay, and we're out with 4 ticks. Now it'll probably still make it up there, but I'm out with 4 ticks because, well, we were a little behind over here a minute ago. So this is the ES. We have 4 on that, and now we have 3 trades. Okay, again, the majority of the trades trigger at the end of the session, typically. But this was a positive trade right here. Let me just put that on right there. Okay. I like the other green better. Green. Alright, and over there on the NQ, it's selling off. Alright, and right here now, it's already moved down quite a bit on the NQ. So if you didn't get it, it's kind of late to get it now. But it's already moved down quite a bit. And it's actually, I think it just bumped my stop. No, it didn't bump my stop yet. There, now it just bumped my stop to plus 1 tick. Alright, so I'm going to lock in 4 on that NQ right now. And 8 on the NQ. And we're out with 8 more on the NQ. Alright, that was the scalp trade right there. Right there. Scalp trade for 8 more ticks. Minus 9. And that is 4. Okay, so we're positive now. I have to have that original stop out. Alright, so see how we had a gray arrow here, and we're looking for the down close on the next bar, but we never got the down close, and it stopped printing gray arrows. So something happened there to make it stop printing gray arrows. No, Mark. The question, does this include commissions over here? That doesn't. On this, I have in here where it includes commission. In here. Okay, down here at the bottom. This is after commission right here. This is with an $8 commission. This is with $2.50 commission. I do include it in here, but in here, I do not. So far in 4 trades, we have $10 in commissions. Okay, well, we actually have, with 10 contracts, we actually have 100 in commissions. Okay. So, any more trades in here? Not yet. Now, I am gonna minimize this. I don't know why that is not giving us. See, it's got this thing right here that says it's got alerts on it, but it's not triggering the alerts. I've done something wrong with that. I don't know why. All the other alerts that I created are working just fine. So, the way I showed you how to create the alerts is the correct way to create the alerts. Alright, so the ES, what range is this on? This is a 27 range ES, that's why we're not getting any triggers in there. If we put the ES on a 4 range, like this, and this is something that I did a while back. If you do the 4 range and don't do the scalp 2, do the swing trade on the 4 range, it usually works out pretty well. Okay, and if you look in here on the 4 range, Stop to break even after 4 ticks in profit. It has an 8 tick stop that goes to break even after 4 ticks in profit. So they usually work out pretty well in here. Okay, if you wanted something that's really fast. Alright, let me scroll up here and see. You know, I haven't shown you guys how to take the free trial yet. If you haven't taken the free trial, go here to tvtrades.com. Go to tvtrade. I don't know why that is so huge. Go to tvtrades.com. Scroll all the way down, well, to any one of these orange things, I guess. Just click on it. Bring it down to the bottom. The trial's here. It's three days for free. Then it's $25 a week, or $90 a month, or $9.97 a year, whichever one you want to do. Right? Just get started with any one of those, and you'll be able to get your stuff indicating on your desktop. If you do it now, I can get you started pretty much right now. If you go and do that, you gotta make sure you give me a TradingView ID though. Okay. If you don't have a TradingView ID, go to tradingview.com. Just go to tradingview.com and sign up there. One thing you're gonna have to do if you go to TradingView, you're gonna have to get real-time data. All right. Don't go and get the free version of TradingView and then try to buy the real-time data, because real-time data is $30 a month if you do it that way. If you get the essential version, which you get 30 days for free from TradingView. Right, let me just see if I can go there. Products, I don't want to go there. Pricing, here it is. If you do the essential, click on monthly. You do the essential for $14.95. You get 30 days. You get a 30-day trial with that. Alright, you get a 30-day trial with that. I have the premium, but you don't need that. The plus gives you 4 charts. The essential will give you 2 charts. But it also gives you custom range bars, which is very important. Gets rid of the ads, gives you custom range bars. A bunch of other things. You can have multiple indicators and stuff like that. But again, it's 30 days for free. Once you do that, it's $15 and 30 days for free. The data, if you have the essential, the data is $7 a month. Okay? The data is $7 a month. However, if you get the free version, so you're not paying for anything, then you don't have custom range bars. You can only have like one indicator, and if you buy the real-time data, you get the free version of charts, but the real-time data is $30. So you get a lot less for more money. You get less for more. So don't do that. All right, John. To add custom bars, you just go. Let me find a chart that doesn't have a whole bunch of things on it. Let's see what's on it. Eat. Okay, let me just create a new layout, because if I do it this way, it's not going to look like yours at all. So let me create a new layout and I'll show you. Okay, you save this one. Now, any of you guys, I put the link in there for you guys to have this right now. If you want to load this link right here, I already put it in the the comment box. All right, you can click on that link and make a copy of this if you want right now. So yours will be loaded looking just like this if you want it. John, I'm going to go to a different layout. Let's do create a new layout. Okay, we'll do temp layout. Okay, and open a new tab. That works. So when it opens up, oh crap, it kept it all up there. All right, well, let me just get rid of all this. All right, so it looks kind of like what you're used to looking at. All right, so it comes up with like one thing like this, right? Yours isn't going to say 9, yours might say 10. But you hit add custom interval like that. Add custom interval. Okay. So the question was how to add custom bars. You click on this right here. Then do add custom interval. And in here choose range. And then in here choose whatever it is. I don't think I have one of those. So I hit add. And it adds it over here. Right there. Now if I want it to show up in this list up here, then I just come in here and all those ones that I just unchecked, I'm going to go back and check them again. Like 4 range, 7 range, the 9 range, 15 range, the 19 range, the 47 range, 100 range, 200 range. Those all show up here now. Okay, that's how you do it, John. Right. Let me go back to my other layout. Alright, so we haven't had any more trade signals since we left here a minute ago. Now the ES is on the 4 range right here. I didn't put the scalp on the 4 range. If I turn the scalp on the 4 range, it gave a signal here, it gave a signal here, it gave a signal here. Right, but we'll just go with the swing on the 4 range, and we'll stick with the scalp over here on the ES7 range, and I think we have it over here. Yeah, we have the... Let me shut that off. Okay, so we're just using, I think the swing trade has this thing shut off in here. No, it doesn't. I guess it just isn't showing any swings in there lately. Alright. More questions? Anybody? Everybody? It's 3:19. We got about 40 minutes left. 40 minutes. So I'm hoping we're going to have some more trade opportunities here. It usually comes to life as we get a little further into the session. I'm going to change one of these to an NQ. Okay. I'll just change this to an NQ. Okay. This, Tam Joe, this is what you were looking for. I don't want to do it on 4 range. That's crazy talk. But we can do it on a... We can do it on 19 range. I'll put the scalp tool on it too. No, it's on the H contract. That's what's wrong here. It needs to be on the Z contract. NQZ. There we go. That's probably why we weren't getting those signals. It's because it was on the H contract. It wasn't supposed to be showing signals from the H contract. Did I actually create that on the H contract? No, NQZ. Okay, good. Alright, so we'll look for some opportunities in here. Hopefully we'll get something coming up. Alright, now I know some of you guys were really interested in the automated stuff. The problem I'm running into with the automated stuff is finding a brokerage where I'm gonna be able to successfully run it consistently. Successfully run it. And I opened accounts just the other day. I opened accounts. I opened one at Webull and I opened one at AMP to try to get it to run across both of those. Those are both listed down here if you go in the trading panel. Oops, they're both listed down in here in the trading panel. And you can see Webull is right here and AMP is right here. Now I use StoneX, but my problem is because I trade on Sierra DOMs, and I do Sierra through StoneX, I can't do automated stuff that goes to StoneX. I can't use StoneX down here. One of the things I was thinking about doing, I really don't want to do it this way, but I could create everything, recreate everything on TradeStation. I could recreate the whole thing on TradeStation. And TradeStation is a brokerage and a charting platform. That's how I used to do it. Years ago, that's how I did it. Okay. I don't really like that idea, but I've had people looking at different things for me, and there was another one, Alpaca or something, Alpaca, this one right here. That was one I was told to look at. Webull, I did. AMP and Webull I am. TradeStation, I know I can use that, but I don't want to. But I haven't stopped pursuing it. Okay, because I know some of you guys are really interested in that. And I mean, that would be the answer for a lot of people that don't have the time to trade or just don't have the discipline to trade. It would definitely be an answer. Yes, I know, Scott. Years ago there was a whole different business I was in where that's all I did, and 15 years ago, maybe something like that. 2009. It was more than that. 17 years ago. No, 16 years ago. Why do I not want to do TradeStation? There's a couple of reasons. One, TradeStation has pretty bad slippage usually. They're pretty bad with their slippage. And two, TradeStation code can be hacked, so anything that I create that I roll into some sort of distributable thing, I can go out and pay to have it. It's a Q-Trade. I can go out and pay to have the thing opened up. Pretty short money. So I don't know if that tool is still available, but I know it doesn't. There's no level of security with TradeStation. Okay, it's got security issues. And the one thing I never did in the past is create a DLL and use a DLL for it. But again, I don't want to do something that's going to create a ton of work for me going down the road, you know. So this is the scalp right here. This is what I'm working on right here. That's what this trade is right here. And we just picked up 12 ticks on the NQ. Okay, so we're positive now on the NQ. Oops, not that. 3. And that's our 5th trade. Okay, that was this one we were looking at right here. That's what, Craig. That's why I don't want to do it. I mean, you know, I'm a certified TradeStation developer. And years ago, I got that certification. So I know how to do it. I know I can do it. I just don't want to. It's the security issue. That's the biggest thing for me. It's the security issue. You know, especially with stuff like this. You know, if we were doing the automated stuff, it would be on a larger time frame. And you know, when you're doing automated things on a larger time frame, then you don't have to worry so much about the slippage on it on a larger time frame because you get a 100 tick stop. You know, so like I said earlier, 3 tick slip isn't going to be that big of a deal. But I've had 15, 20 tick slips trying to scalp on TradeStation in the past, and that's why I stopped using them. Yes, I couldn't agree more, Greg. You missed that I didn't call it out and my DOM covered up the chart. Okay. Well, it was there. And you have all the tools, Wayne. There was one over here on the NQ too. There was one there on the NQ, one there. Not on the NQ. This is the NQ on the gold. There was one there, one over here. I didn't call any of those out. But I'm waiting. It's 3:27, so we have about 33 minutes left, guys. And we're now on our Wednesday total. We're nowhere near what we usually get, but we're positive now after having that initial stop out. Our average is about 6 times where we are right now. But I'm telling you, the last 15 minutes is when it all happens. About to have a trade here. On an up close over here, you're going to have a trade. Okay? On an up close on the ES4 range right now, you're going to have a trade. That's on this one. I'll go back over here, and this is on the ES7 range. It's not giving you any indication right now. So I have 8 charts going right now. And there it is on the ES4 range. Okay. So you knew ahead of time that black arrow was going to trigger on an up close, right? Here it is. After 4 ticks in profit, the stop goes to break even, and should be going to break even. Oh, it did go to break even. I'm going to lock in 1 tick on that. 2 ticks, 4 ticks, and I'm out with 4. Okay. Wayne, did you get that one? I went back and forth, showing you that. Okay, we're getting there. We're getting there. Okay, good. Yeah, just show and tell, Craig. I really, the 4-range, the S is kind of slow, but to get more trades in this time period, to give you more examples in this time period, you can jump on the 4-range right there. Gold right now in a 9-range, I just gave a long trade right here on the open of that bar. Okay. So you could pretty much jump on right now if you wanted to, I think. I don't think it's gone 5 ticks into profit yet. I don't think it's gone 5 ticks into profit. 5.1 up to 5.6. It has gone 5 ticks into profit. So if I had put that on, my stop would have already gone to break even, and it just would have taken me out at break even. It's got a swing trade about to trigger here now, though. If you get an up close on this bar right now, it's going to be a swing trade long. Okay. If I would have gotten this on the scalp trade right there, I would have gotten a little bit of profit, or I would have gotten a break even. But I didn't get either one. Okay, over here, nothing. Okay, on the gold right here, it's showing you the same thing it is over here. Okay, the gold on both these, showing you the same thing. I don't trade NinjaTrader carry. Larry, I think that's supposed to be Larry, right? I don't use NinjaTrader. I have stuff with NinjaTrader, and I'm a third-party vendor with NinjaTrader, but I don't like to use NinjaTrader. Right? The TV trade stuff is never going to be put on NinjaTrader. That is supposed to be Larry, right? Not Carrie, your name. That was a typo, right? L and K right next to each other. So yeah, that was a typo. Okay, so the swing trade is still looking for an up close on the gold. The scalp actually gave you one, but the swing trade is still looking for the up close. So if you get an up close on this bar on gold, it's going to give you the swing trade on top of the scalp. There it is right there. We'll go with that one. And over here on the NQ, the 19 range gave you just the scalp trade. Okay, now this just bumped to, I'm going to lock in 5 ticks on that. Alright, I was going to lock in more, but it just took me out. What was I saying? I don't remember what I was saying. But anyway, go 5 there on gold. So we'll put that in our Wednesday sheet. Wednesday totals. Gold, 5. 7 trades. Okay. No, I think I got 5 on them. Let me go and check and see what I actually did get. Alright. On the gold, it was 5, exactly 5. 42.5 to 43.0. Okay. And I'll show it to you. I'll show you the print. Also in an NQ trade that just went to break even, and I'll show you that in a second too. You'll see that in just a second. This is the NQ trade, and it just took me out at 1 tick. Sorry, it just went up and came back down and took me out at 1 tick on the NQ trade. But the gold trade was right here. Alright, I filled at 42.5 and I exited there at 43. Okay, in the NQ trade, that triggered was back here. I think this one right here. I was long the NQ and it went to +10 and then it just came back and took me out. It wasn't based on that red arrow, it was based on the green arrow. So it gave me 1 tick on the NQ. And we had 5 on the gold. So let me put the NQ. 1 more. 4. And 8. And we did do the 5 on the gold already. Okay. So back in here, there was a short here that I didn't get on the NQ. John, how do you get the scalp trade currently trading into your indicators where all the other options are like the swing trade? Well, John, I'll save this right here. Okay, now I know this isn't your forte really, but copy this link, copy, and I'll send it to you right now. Paste. Okay, now I sent that to everybody, it's not just to you. If you click on that link that I just sent to you, it's going to open this up with everything on it just the way it is. If you have plus or above, it'll open it up like this. All right, if you don't have plus or above, then it's going to give you a message telling you to upgrade. But if I do it like this, and I save it right now. Alright, well now it's saved again. So now if you open it right now, and you have Essential or above, it'll open it up just like this. Okay? Where it's got the swing trade and the scalp trade on it at the same time. And you go and shut one of those off if you want to. Just shut that off, or shut that off if you want to have just one, not the other. Okay. Does that answer your question, John? I cover that for you. Alright, it's Thursday. Man, I got a meeting tonight. I don't know why this thing is this color. I've been trying for days to fix that color. Reset chart view. I don't know what that does. Go in here to settings. This is the color. Right. Make it that. It's not the same as the other ones. Why isn't it the same as the other one? I don't know. Oh, maybe I can do this. Open this one here. To apply to all. There it is. Ding. Ha! Found it. Alright. Well, I have a Russell chart open here instead of the YM. The Russell just gave you a scalp long trade right here. Now, I don't have a Russell DOM open, so I can't do anything with it right now. Okay. So you can't get this into your indicator area where all the other options of trades are. What do you mean? Take a picture on your phone and text it to me, John. You have my number, right? The 617-943 number. Take a picture on your phone and text it to me and I'll help you. I'm pretty sure I can help you. Okay, this is a swing trade on the NQ. So earlier, Tam Joe, you were asking about the swing trade. You know, can you use it on a smaller time frame? We're using it on a 19 range right here. I'm in it. It's just bumped me to break even. Gonna lock in 4. Okay. Now it should get all the way up here to 272. My target is up at 71.50, so that would be just about right for me. Oops. I meant to lock in 12. There's 12. I gotta drop it to get 20. It's at 12 right now, but it's gotta get back up above there. Okay, so 20. I just took 20 on that NQ. Okay, so now we're at 24 on the NQ. This is a 9. And we're getting there, guys. We're getting there. That's actually higher than what it should be. This should be a 25. Okay. So if we take, I don't know what the number was coming in, but but getting another 1,000 or something like that would be great. Alright, so going back here, that worked. I didn't do it on the yes. You still can do it over here on the Russell if I had a Russell Dom open, but I don't. I didn't do it on the gold. Okay, did you send it to me, John? I did not get it on my phone. I did, however, get something from James. James, are you in here right now? EFGHI J. There's a couple of J's in here, but not the right one. I didn't. You send it from? Did you send it in email? Because I didn't get it on my phone. Did you text it to me? Did you telegram it to me? When I click on the indicators link, there are other options to do trades like swing trade and range sniper. Yes, there are. When I click on, if I click on in here, there's a TV trades, the range sniper, the range trigger, scalp tool, the swing trade. You guys don't have that, you don't have that, and a couple of you guys have that, but most of you don't. So you don't have them in there, John? I'm almost sure you do. You should. Right, these are in my favorites. In my invite only, I have a lot of other things in here that I've created that you guys don't all have access to. Matter of fact, some of those, most of those, nobody has access to. But if you go into your invite only and you click on the star, like this, if I click on this star, that's going to be in my favorites now. Now, I don't really want that in there, so I'm going to uncheck it. Is that what you were talking about? You want to have them in here? Yeah, you don't have it? John, you don't have access to the scalp thing? Ah, okay, let me go check on that for you. What is your ID? Do you remember we went through all that stuff to figure out what your ID was? I have it written down somewhere. Hang on. Hang on, John. I will go find it. I will find it. I have it. Let me just go find it for you. Hang on. Do Control F. Oops, that didn't work the way I wanted it to. Click on this and do Control F. There it is. And there are two of you in there. There you are. That is your ID. Let me go and make sure that you get everything that you should get. That was me updating the web page. Yeah, this is going to log me out for a second here. There you go. Now you have it in there. Alright, if you are a subscriber, if you're an active subscriber, or if you're on the trial, and you don't have access to any of the tools that I've shown you, let me know. Alright, because you should. Everybody should have access to all the tools that I'm showing you right now, if you're a subscriber or if you're on the trial. Okay, John, you do have it now, so you just have to hit refresh. Okay. Alright, so I just kind of messed things up a little bit, and I lost the chat box. Let me find that. View. Questions. View. Questions. There it is. Found it. Alright, I lost the NQ. There it is. Found the NQ. Alright, so I'm ready to trade again. Speaking of the NQ. It had that right there. the gold's almost got a swing trade long going here. Now if I jump back to here, we'll see if anything else has it going there. Nope. The ES7 range had a swing trade long here a second ago. So the gold actually did end up triggering right there. Okay, so here's the gold. Alright, so John, you should have that in that section now. Okay. Am I in a pretty good space here? Yeah, 6.3 is not too bad. I have a 15 tick stop here on the gold. Alright, so we'll see what happens with that. That is the ES right there with the scalp long trade. Okay, and the NQ over there with the scalp long trade. And the gold with the swing long trade. So here's the ES. Here's the NQ. And I think we just got to break even over there on the gold. Both the ES and the NQ just bumped to break even. We're going to go up to plus 16 on the NQ, plus 4 on that, plus 20 on the NQ, plus 6 on the ES, 24 on the NQ, 8 on the ES, we're out with 8 on the ES, and 28 on the NQ. Okay. And I think that was a break even over there on the gold. I'll go check in a second. Maybe we ended up getting one of those in there. Well, let me go put that in the Wednesday totals. So we had 28 on there, and that puts us at 52 on that. And we had 8 on the ES, that puts us at 16 there. 2 more trades, and then I gotta check on the gold and see what we ended up with. We are above the average now. On 19 range, you didn't get the scalp long arrow, you refresh range. I gotta check that. I'm currently signed in. Is that okay? I gotta check that, Wayne. Hold that thought. Okay. Oh, I know what I was doing. I was going to check that gold trade and see what I ended up with on that. Alright, GC. But, okay, yeah, it was a break even. I ended up with a break even on the gold. So, I just had one more trade in here. 12. Okay, that's what I thought I ended up with. Alright, so, log, timed alert, Netflix, Tesla, GGAL, all these things have triggered in the log. No NQs. I don't know why the NQ thing's not working right now. I'm going to have to figure that out. The NQ alert. It should be functioning right now. Alright. Back to what's in front of us. You just picked up this short scalp on the NQ. Was it underneath a swing trade? Maybe? No, it wasn't. Let's look at the other one. Let's see, do we have anything going on over here? Not really. In here we had a few trades. There was this one here, I was still in the long trade when that triggered. And I was writing everything down when that triggered, and that triggered, and that triggered. And that's the one we took right there, I think. I wasn't looking at that, and I wasn't looking at that. So, now we wait. It's 3:48, we have 12 minutes left, and this is when the majority of the trading usually happens, is right now. When you have a moment, could I repost the spreadsheet link? Yeah, sure. This one right here. Share. Copy link. You all have access to this. Okay. Paste. Send that. I'll stick it over here too. Alright. Wayne said, I think there were a couple of trades in there that I missed. One or two stopped out. Right? You got a short scalp on NQ19 range at 345. Okay. It doesn't say you stopped out. I didn't get that. On a 19 range. You see, that's an ES, not a NQ. This is a NQ19 range. 345. I didn't get one at 345. Did I? Yeah, no. This one right here is what I got. That was at 345 right there. There's one right here that has already gone too far into profit to take. There's one right now on the Russell, but I don't have Russell Dom open. The Russell one just worked out. There's a long right. Wow, that long. There's a long right there that immediately gapped down. That you can't get right now. That I wouldn't try to get right now. Something just happened here at 350. But you could try that short on the NQ if you wanted to. It did go from there down about 20 ticks down there. The NQ is just running too fast. This is what I was talking about earlier. I think it doesn't have a spread. Yeah, it's just a couple of tick spread right now. It's not too bad. Not too bad. But what I was talking about earlier was when the NQ gets wild, it has a big spread in between the bid and the ask. Right now it's going to go up and hit that number right there. There it is. Okay, it's going to come down and hit that number that I just showed a second ago. This number right down here, 233, it's going to hit that. This number right here at 43.50, it's going to hit that. I don't know what made the NQ jump around like it just did, but I didn't put any trades on that. And Joe, do you have any videos specifically on how to build the strategy with this on the Sierra? Yes, I do. Swing trade the scalp, but in some you don't automatically throw in. Yes, I do actually. I put some out recently, Joe, and they're in the TIQ videos page. Okay, now that's open to the public, so you can all go there. And this right here. It's in here. Setting auto break even. Right there is one. And if you scroll up and you watch some of the videos that I put in here, this is changing symbols in Sierra, determining if too far from the midpoint for a trade. There's a bunch of videos that I put in here about setting up different Sierra things. Okay, and this is in the TIQ videos Telegram channel. This is open to the public, so you can all go to this if you want to. Right? You can all join it. And I pretty frequently put videos out there. Okay, so here I'll give you the link to that. You can all join that if you want to. Right, if you haven't done it already. That's the Telegram channel. Okay, the question was, do I have any videos about setting up targets and stops and all that? And in that one video, that most recent one that I put in there, Joe, not only does it show how to set up the target and the stop, but it shows how to set up the target and the stop with an auto trailing break even, which was the feature, the newest feature that we've just done recently. Yeah, what's going on with that, Wayne? Do you have yours on like NQ1 exclamation point or something? Or do I not have these turned on? Yeah, I do have them turned on. You're on the Z 2025? I don't know why you're getting signals that I'm not. But I also don't know why I'm not getting anything triggered over here in the logs for the NQ alerts, because they should be triggering too. It says right here that there's alerts on it. So I probably need to restart my whole thing here. There's a trade over here I missed. There's a bunch of trades in here that I missed. And there's one right there on the NQ. I can still get on it. Now I can't. I could have a second ago. There. Has me at 1 tick. 1 tick. Go to 4 ticks. Let's see where this goes. 8, 12. Wow, that would have just given me all 45 if I had left it in there. Okay, so we're above our average on the Wednesdays right now. Oops, what's happening here? I missed that rather nice trade. I missed that nice trade. I missed that nice trade. I missed that nice trade. I can still get in that one. I think. Crap. Ah. I missed that one. All right. Yeah, I don't know what's going on with that Wayne, but it could have something to do with mine more than yours, I think, because my alerts should be popping off right now and they're not. Right, so the NQ just had a scalp short right there. Now the scalp short was from the top of this bar, right? The top of that bar was your scalp short. Okay. I didn't see this over here on the gold. That was a nice trade there. All the other alerts that I've created in the past are working. They're all triggering like they should. So it's just something I just created today. It's got to be something to do with this thing. The NQ is good another scalp short right here. Here it is. Stop just went to break even. I'm going to lock in 4, 8, 12, and I'm out with 12 more. I missed that last one. You know what I started doing in the other section, in the morning session, is I did the number of stop outs, the number of trades to give you a percentage. So I could probably add that to this column here. Got number of trades, number of stops. I think that's information that you guys are always interested in seeing. Right. Number of stops. And then the formula is right here. Paste that there, but it's not going to be Y. It's going to be Q and S. This will be S. This will be Q. Okay. Is that right? S and Q. Oh, I didn't put one in here. There we go. How many stops did we have? We had 1 stop out there so far. 1 out of 14, right? This should be equals Q equals Q divided by S. Q oh, This is line 26. Also, it's not 226. That would probably help. And this, I think I had it right before. Yeah. There you go. 92%. That's better. Settings inputs on the NQ for enable alerts. It should have worked. Well, while I was doing that, we just missed a couple of nice trades in there. I don't know if it's too late. It's the Russell. I don't have a Russell Dom open. Next time I'll try to have a Russell Dom open, or not trade the Russell. And just make it a YM. That's the Dom that I have open. Put on the Z contract for the YM. That's the Dom that I have open. Okay. The NQ just gave another scalp along right there. That worked out really well. I didn't get it. The gold just gave another swing long right there. That worked out really well. The YM is giving a swing short right here. That's working out really well. The ES gave a long here, and it's giving another one right here. A scalp on both of them. Both of those worked out. Okay. This is a conflicting thing right here, Hal, that you were talking about earlier. That gave a short right here, right into a long right here. So if you're doing both of them, you could exit one and do the other at that point. Here, I did the long. I got my stop to break even. I'm going to lock in one tick. So I have one YM right now. Let me add that. Wednesday totals, YM, 1. 1, and that becomes 15. Alright. Oh crap, guys, we've run out of time. All this fun. I stopped keeping track of the time. Alright. Travis, random question. Does the market close in 15 minutes and reopen in 30 minutes? No, it doesn't. What happens in 15 minutes is the equity markets close, the options markets close. The futures stay open until 5 o'clock. Right, 5 o'clock Eastern time. Then they close for an hour and they open back up at 6 p.m. Eastern time. Right, but the equity markets close in 15 minutes. And like the options markets close right now. But that's why I always say in the last 15 minutes when the equity markets are closing is when we usually have the majority of the trades. I mean, you only saw me take a few trades in here, but there are a ton of them that triggered. You know, we took, what, 15 trades. And the majority of them were in the last half hour. You know, in the first hour and a half. In the first hour, the thing we probably took, I don't know, 5 or 6 maybe. Travis, are you doing TV trades? I don't think you have done TV trades yet, have you? You should try it out. Okay, go, again, just go to tvtrades.com. You go to tvtrades.com or go here. For all of you guys who don't know, this webinar that I'm doing right now is going to be here at targetviewtrades.com if you want to go watch it later. Just go to targetviewtrades.com, click on upcoming and past webinars, and it's going to be right in here. All right, this is for next week, but it's going to be right here. This was last week's. You'll be able to click right here, and it'll have this week's on it. All right. Yeah, and you'll be able to register for next week's in the same place. If you haven't taken TV Trades yet, go to tvtrades.com and click any one of these orange buttons. TV Trades is really cheap, Travis. It's only $25 a week, or $90 a month, or $9.97 a year. All right, so you can get involved. Pretty low price. All right, so we're going to end the session with 15 trades. 15 trades, up 76 ticks on the NQ, 1 tick on the YM, 5 ticks on gold, and 16 ticks on the ES. For if it were just one contract, $635 a contract. If it were 10, $6,350. So look where we are after 25 Wednesdays. Well, Thursday. After 25 sessions, we're at $99,150, averaging $3,966 per session, or $396 per session. That pays for the subscription pretty easily. So even if you only came on Wednesdays, even if you only came to the last 15 minutes on Wednesdays, or this meeting, Wednesdays or Thursdays, whenever I do this meeting, it's usually Wednesdays. Even if you only came for the last 15 minutes of the meeting, you'd be able to you'd be able to pay for that and make some money. Alright, that is it, guys. With that, let me shut off the recording here. Thanks again for coming. I am going to stick with Wednesdays, Hal. I like it on a Wednesday. Thursday, I just, there's always a Thursday night partners meeting and all that stuff, so I'd rather have it on Wednesday. Right, this week and in a couple weeks, things just happened where I couldn't do it on Wednesday. We had travel yesterday, and I'll be traveling again in 2 weeks.